you're going to have a lot of time to make something happen, but you guys got about as good a look as you can get from you on the corner.
Yeah, they took away our first action. You've seen, thanks. You've seen they were kind of sitting at the three-point line. We kind of improvised as we came out there. And I was supposed to actually go to the corner, the strong side corner where the ball was, but me and Book, seeing how they were guarding us, and kind of faded out to the other side. Royce made a great pass to Book, and Book made a great pass to me. So that was great execution by us.
It's crazy that after a shot like that, it's like, okay, they got momentum now. They'll start the overtime well, and then to start it the way you guys did, maybe just you feel like went into that, or maybe the frustration of that.
I mean, Jokic got that duck in, deep in the post, first possession, layup. You can live with that. We can't, I mean, obviously every bucket was tough, but a two-pointer over top of somebody, then we came down, drove. Mason got a good look at the rim for the left hand, in and out. Shit happens, and they came down and hit a three, I think. I think their shooting was on point tonight. You gotta give them credit, you know. Guys knocked down shots, Brown, Gordon, Peyton, Watson, the guys that we kind of want to help off of a little bit. Not disrespect them, but, you know, percentages and the numbers say, you know, we don't want to give them wide open looks, but we can live with some of those contested threes that they shoot. And they made them tonight. And sometimes that's just how the game goes. It was a slugfest. Both teams played extremely hard. And, they had the first half. We kind of had the second half. They got the overtime. That was the game.
You're obviously an historian of the game. Just when you hear the numbers that Jokic put up the first time ever to have a 30-plus points,
yeah, that's crazy.
20 assists. Just maybe speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, the fast-paced game is so many possessions in the game. The whole offense is centered around him making a play. I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't done this before, but he's been so close. And he's an all-time great, man. All-time great, and he has pretty normal. And the crazy thing is, it didn't seem like he had those numbers. I looked up at the end of towards the end of the overtime. I was like, oh shit, 30, 20. That was crazy. But I felt like we made him work for most of this stuff tonight. But like I said, he gets the ball every play, so it's going to be the numbers going to pile up after a while, especially when you go into overtime.
You mentioned what you can live with against him. What is the thing you can live with the most, whether it's a spot where he's taking a shot from or the type of shot he's generating?
He's an all-time great. You're not going to take nothing away from him, actually. You know what I'm saying? He averages a certain amount of points for a reason. So just playing hard, you know what I'm saying? We can live with playing hard and him hitting shots over. So Mace played extremely hard, fought him the whole game. He's just Jokic. He makes shots. Now, I'm not saying that any part of his game is weak or, you know, we living with a certain part of his game. It's just the fact that players like that, you just got to play hard and see what happens.
He's kind of the underdog to Shea right now for MVP.
No, he's not stop it. I'm not going to let y'all keep doing that, man. Jokic never is an underdog, any situation, man. Stop.
So you think it should be him then?
I'm just saying he's not an underdog. I don't know who it should be. Both of them playing great ball, but Jokic should never be an underdog again. That shit's out the window, his first MVP.
What do you think then of the kind of the idea that historical context comes into play in MVP voting, that he's won 3 and that can kind of hold it back? Like
yeah.
Is it fair to kind of consider that? Or
I don't think that's fair at all. Like voter fatigue. No, if a guy balling out, he's balling out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. You know what I'm saying? Between him and Shea. But it's only good for our league when you see guys like that. You know, you don't see a clear-cut MVP. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it should be voters fatigue at all. You know, I almost think it should be. I'll leave that for another day, bro. I think both of those guys got a great chance of winning MVP. Jokic being his 4th, Shea being his 1st. It's going to be a race down to the wire.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Another fourth-quarter rally, you guys were able to force overtime. What did you like from the team's overall effort trying to dig themselves out of that hole?
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of good stuff on both ends. You know, I think the kind of resolve, you know, the early third quarter didn't go well. And then the fight from there on was great. So I think the response and defensively digging in, offensively finding ways to score. The guys fought. Like that's what we need. We need to have that kind of fight, and hopefully we can not get to that spot. But proud of how they fought back, and we were there. We just one more play.
Coach, obviously the play to get Durant to three was originally designed the way it played out at the end of regulation, or was that just throw it to Devin and Devin making that pass over there?
Yeah, no, the players, again, just, they read the situation, I think read the zone. Some teams play a zone into games to try and take away threes. And, again, Royce as the inbounder, great read. Book, great read. Kevin, great read. All those guys just, making things, on their own, really.
Curious, when you in the regulation, the way you guys did in the start, the whole team down 7-0 quickly, what do you feel like happened during that stretch?
Credit to Denver. Those guys, they executed. They got baskets. We had a good look. Basically a layup that went in and out, and then Book had a shot. We didn't match. Their execution, their plays. And I can't remember who hit the three, but it's just credit to them. We need to be a little bit better.
Curious with Jokic having a historic night, 30-plus points, 20 assists, 20 rebounds. Nobody in NBA history has ever done that. Just the challenge of trying to slow that down tonight.
Yeah, no, there's, hard to say, or add anything that hasn't already been said about Jokic as a player. But, I think the way they shot the ball, their roster, you go up and down and look at what they shot from three. And as a team, I think they shot over 50% from three. So, he's a great passer. And tonight his teammates were great around him. And, credit to them.
Start of the game, Gordon getting those 4 threes. I know he's shooting a career high, but after a couple, you got to be thinking, let's close the space on him. And what you feel like, how much was that part of how he got off like that early?
Yeah, no, he's a great defender, great athlete, and now he's just, improved his game, has a great role, has a great fit on this team, and he came out hot. A couple of them were just, kind of DHO situations, and he just rose up behind the DHO. One was a pick and roll, and, great read by them. So, he was part of that, entire roster that just shot the ball big time tonight.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
You can't really be disappointed. They shot the ball extremely well, especially in the first half. I think this, beginning, just got to play a little harder, make things tough for them. But, we was right there the whole time. They played well. We had turnovers, missed shots, but, we forced it to overtime. So.
I'm curious, just you talk about making shots in that first half. How much of it was just not closing out on them, and then how much of it was them just making shots?
A little bit of both. Can't really say, pinpoint what it is exactly without watching the film, but, credit to them.
Curious, when you have Aaron, he's shooting a career high from three, so he hits a couple early. Is it a matter of, hey, look, we got to slow this down, and maybe that's part of the frustration of not being able to do that with him, particularly in that first quarter?
He just got hot. He missed the ones he shot later on in the game, so basketball, that's just how it goes sometimes.
I want to ask you about the inbound play. Coach said to me, trusting you to pass, to make the right pass, but what made you end up going to that?
The play, we did draw it up. It would have worked, but, we had kind of made eye contact and, created an advantage of our own, seen the openings. And then, I'm looking at Devin and, Kay, seeing him go to the corner. And so I knew it was going to be a 2-on-1 on the backside. Hit Devin, he made the extra pass, and Kay knocked it down. So, that's a lot of trust, especially being the inbounder, a lot of pressure. But, love the pressure.
How do you guys respond for the next game?
I mean, take what we did good, you know, play off that, learn from what we did bad, and I think just be ready. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Start down 7-0 in that OT. What do you feel like happened in that third, that overtime?
You know, it's tough containing them. I think in the first half, we were following game plan. Those guys hit a lot of shots. You got to give them credit. I think Gore was 5 for 5 to start Watson, and that was part of our scheme. To make it find them, and they made a space for that.
Jokic had a historic night. First player to have 30-plus points, 20-plus rebounds, 20-plus assists. You caught him in the hub back in Phoenix. How much of that was on full display for you tonight?
You said it. We've never seen anything like it. So, he's the hub. They have the system, and they play well with it.
Curious, for you in that second half, it felt like you were like, I'm taking these shots. I need to get us back in the game. How much did you take that upon yourself to do what you needed to do to get you guys in overtime?
Yeah, we knew we could crawl our way back in. We knew the shots weren't going to fall the whole game, so we just had to stay with it. And, we put ourselves in a situation, to get the win and force overtime, but, fell short. You never want to have a moral victory, but, we had some pretty good spots in there, and, we showed some promise.
How huge was that over that call of Plumlee's charge, and then it gets overturned to a block? How huge was that particular play right there?
It was really big. It was tough. I haven't seen the replay, so, can't really determine if it was or not, but, I'm sure they got it right.
Can you take us through the last play call in regulation there to give you that read?
Yeah, it was just a read. Me and Royce locked eyes, and, they're trying to go 5 around the perimeter, and we just had to pop to the open spot. And, I didn't know. I know 1.4, it was more time than you think, but, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get her off. But, I definitely trust 35 with it.
Royce said he saw 2-on-1 on the other side, and that's why he went that way. I'm sure you were seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
Are you inclined to just shoot it even as you see Watson rotating over, or do you have time to process that decision, I guess, as you make the pass?
Just understanding who's in the corner. Kevin Durant's over there. I'm gonna put the ball in his hands.
Thank you, sir.